what is up? I am so glad that you are here, fam. And for those who are new and just joined, just in case if it's your first time, don't worry. My name is Tia Joy. Welcome. And to all of my subscribers, my fam, what is up, y'all? Like, it is another week. I hope you all have been having a great week, a great month so far. Yo, we have one more month left, and yeah, it's over after that. But it's all good. But I'm really excited to get in today's video. But just in case if you are new and you want to know about what I do dance reviews, I do my top 10, my top 5s, and I also do eyeshadow tutorials, by the way, which I did last week. So if you missed it, don't worry, I got you. Check it out. So next I'm going to go ahead and go into my Hey! What is up? What are you doing here? Girl, you know I'm on break. This 401 crew rehearsal. What you doing? Oh, I'm just, doing an eyeshadow look that I did for you. you know. Why? The eyeshadow look that I did for the Step Up 2 review. Did you not see it? So if you want to see more of that, I'll go ahead and put the link above so that way you can check it out. Not only do I talk about dance reviews, my top 5, top 10s, and my eyeshadow tutorials as you saw, but I have done an interview with a dancer, and as you see today, it's completely different. I'm going to do something else. But most importantly, what I love to do is I love to honor dance choreographers so they can get due credit that's due to them, because they do so much that we don't really think or honor about. So I just wanted to definitely put that towards that out there to let them know that we love them and appreciate them. But today, guess what? I'm going to do something completely different. As you see, it's a new location. That's because there are people outside who's working on our area right now, and so it's pretty loud out there. So I switched rooms so that way it can be a little bit more quieter. So if you do hear something, that's why. But anyway, today, I know I said this in in my video for the Selena versus Selena series, by the way, which is my #1 video of most watched on my YouTube channel, which is absolutely amazing. I love you guys so much. Please go watch that. Go check it out. But I said in that one, I was like, you know what? It's going to be very random that I do that, because normally I talk about dance movie reviews, and it's very rare that I talk about something that's really not dancey. But today, I'm actually bringing you another one that's not really dancey, but is really cool to talk about. So as you saw already in my thumbnail, I'm going to talk about The Harder They Fall. Now, before I get into that, I just need you a couple things. If you haven't yet, I would love for you to be part of my fam. So please hit that subscribe button below, and also hit that bell so that way instantly you can be in the know when I upload a new video. The Harder They Fall, as you see, it has came out on Netflix, and I believe it's number 4 right now of the most watched on Netflix, which is amazing. And low-key, I had to talk about this because I think this movie was really cool. It was directed by James Samuel. So he also did another movie, and it was back in 2013, and it's called They Die by Dawn. So it was in another Western movie, and I just think it was really cool that he brought on a Western movie, but it's black cowboys and cowgirls, and I thought that was amazing that there's actually stories and there's actually black cowboys, which is amazing. You don't really hear too much about it, and the fact that he brought it to the screen, it was absolutely fantastic, and I absolutely love. I can't tell you how many times I see the movie, because I really, really, really love this movie. And just for those who just don't read, clearly it's not a true story about the movie, but the people, which is the black cowboys that existed. And I'm grateful that they are talking about this, because there's a lot of things about our history, or a lot of things that happen that we do not know. And the fact that there are great and amazing people who are doing the research and bringing it to film is absolutely a joy to watch, because now I know, wow, there is black cowboys and black cowgirls that existed, and they actually have a story, and they actually were doing things as far as like territory and being in towns and being like the big shots in bosses. And I absolutely love the fact that they came out with this movie so they could talk about that. And so if you haven't seen the movie, I highly encourage you that you go and take the time to go watch it, because it's absolutely amazing. And they had so many amazing star casts in this movie. So we have people like Jonathan Mayers, we have Zazie Beetz, we have Jim Beckworth, we have not Jim Beckworth, we have RJ Seiler, Eddie Gathegi, have Danielle Detweiler. One thing that I could definitely say about, like, I'm going to keep going. We have Idris Elba, we have Regina King. Low key, Regina King is like boss. Legit, she's such a goat. It's crazy because she does so much that I don't feel like she gets enough credit due to her, in my opinion, because seeing the things in the project she's done, like being not only just being an actress, but a director, and directing like One Night in Miami, like that, I didn't even know she directed that, which was dope. She even did the voices in Boondocks, like, yo, she did the voices of Riley and Huey Freeman on Boondocks. And when you normally see her talk, you know, she's either in this high-pitched voice or she's in a normal voice. But in this movie, she was a little bit more like, she had that deep voice. And that's just amazing how she can switch up roles with her voice to match of what's going on. And I just really loved it. And she has some gorgeous eyes. But Regina King is definitely a go. And I'm super grateful and excited that she was actually in this movie. And the fact that she worked with James and even Jay-Z, he was helped out with some of this the songs as well, and collaborating with him, you know, to help with the soundtrack. Matter of fact, the soundtrack is fire, so I absolutely love that. Then we have Lakeith Stanfield in here, and then we have some other people in here as well, like Delroy Lindo. We have Deon Cole. Deon did such an amazing job. I'm super used to him playing goofy and silly, but in his role for this movie, he did a fantastic job, and I absolutely loved him in this. We even had Woody McClain and Damon Wayans Jr. That was cool that he made an appearance in this movie too. And so I just really loved everything about this, and knowing that there were black Westerners out there who existed was absolutely amazing. I love the fact that this is an all black cast, which was really cool. It wasn't like it was it wasn't like the old westerns like you see for like Tombstone and like you would see for Wild Wild West. We don't even speak about Wild Wild West, low-key. But normally when it comes to Western movies, like you'll either see a black person, they're either playing co-star, or you'll see them as like still a slave. But this one, it had nothing to do with slavery. It has to do with pretty much people having territory and bosses. And I just love everything about it. Another thing that I really loved about this movie, and not just the fact that they talked about Western culture and knowing that and being aware that there is black Western cowboys. Another thing I love is how everything was straight up black. Like, if we're gonna make an all cast movie with African Americans, we're gonna stick to the culture. And the reason why I probably loved it so much is because even with the hairstyle, like with Stagecoach Mary, even though she was light skinned, I love how, and I didn't really want to go into this, but I think it's good because sometimes when you see different shades of black, especially on more of the lighter complexion, it's more like the straight, trying to be more towards the other half of who they're mixed with. So normally when you see somebody who's white and black, they normally go towards the white culture because it's all about like trying to be more white to impress, to be more acceptable. So that way you won't be, you know, you won't be turned down or treated super rudely as an African American, knowing that you're mixed. But with this one, the reason why I like Stagecoach Mary is because her hair was in an afro. It wasn't in the straight, even though she was a little bit more on the lighter complexion. No, she had the afro. She had the black African afro. And with the top hat, it's like, honey, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with her look, with who she was in the movie. But I think it was mostly because of the hair and what she brought, and knowing that and not even just her, but every African American who was in this movie that was woman, they all had the natural hair, which was really, really, really dope. So when you see the women and when they have their hair, I just really love that everyone was represented. Like when I saw this movie, I can see myself. I see me as Regina King. I see me as as Trudy Smith. I see me as Stagecoach Mary. I see me as one of the people that's in the saloon and they're mingling and chatting with the cowboys. Like I could see myself in there because they don't have to be extra and try to fit in. It had nothing to do with let me do what I can to fit in to be accepted by white culture. No, it's let me be me. This is who I am. And I just really love the fact that every single person that was in this movie and film was all represented, and it's like you can be yourself. Like it was really, really, really dope. And that's one thing that I absolutely love about that, is just everybody was able to be them. You can identify yourself with each character depending on what the gender is, but you can identify yourself with each character, and you can see that you don't have to change who you are and being proud of being an African American. You got the guys with the beards, with the haircuts, and it wasn't even like, let me line up them edges. Nah, it's like it's gonna be rough and ruddy, because in the cowboy series, like as a cowboy, you don't need to be all extra, like, because it ain't about always looking cute. It's about dominating. It's about power. It's about control. It's about wealth, and it's all about discipline. And so that's what I definitely loved about that. And another thing that I also love, and I know that I said, like I said before, for me to sit here and talk about something besides dance, and there was a dancer in here, who's the blue lady, and I really love that scene. And I'm probably gonna talk about a couple scenes, but one of the scenes I did like was a scene when the Stagecoach Mary was coming, and I'm not gonna do any spoilers, so don't worry about it. Don't be like, oh my gosh, she's gonna tell. No, I'm not gonna tell any spoilers. You gotta watch it for yourself. But I really love when the blue lady, when she was dancing, and when Stagecoach Mary wanted to talk to Rufus, but I like how when she was walking the saloon, and instantly you see the blue lady, and she's like almost like guiding her, but in a dancey way, almost like a spirit, like let me present you. Like you ain't gonna just come up to Rufus just to have a conversation. No, you're gonna be presented in a fashionable, not fashionable, but in a very wormy, aka spicy, like wavy, like, because the girl, when she was dancing, she had no bones, like at all. So I thought that was really, really cool. But I just really love how she was dancing, and as she was going, she was guiding her, and she was just sitting there just like watching her, and like she was introducing not only, you know, going towards Rufus, but also introducing who's the main like bosses as well along the way to Rufus. And I just really like how she was dancing and moving, and the choreographer for that was the one and only Fatima Robinson, so you cannot go wrong with that. So I love the fact that she was able to, I love that moment, because it's like, okay, like you ain't gonna just be walking up, you're gonna be introduced into. And I like how she was following her. That was really cool. But I thought that was a cool scene. But one thing that I also learned, especially in this movie, and why I thought, okay, why not I talk about this, is because also what is very, very important when it comes to action movies, and I didn't really realize this. I know this is a little bit off topic, but this is another reason why. But one thing that I thought was really, really cool with this movie as well, that helped me think about choreography, and I realized this when I watched the making of Creed, when they were trying to shape Michael B. Jordan into the physique that they wanted him to be to have this role. And also not just that, but when it comes to fighting, there is a routine. There is a routine that you have to follow in order to create a scene. And so with that, it's called choreography. Like there's boxing choreography. There's a specific jab, punch, uppercut that you have to go with in order for this scene to be created. And it's the same thing with any movie that I didn't realize until I watched that behind the scene. So knowing that with this, there's choreography with fighting. There's choreography with even when you pull out the gun. It's just even how to handle the gun. And I thought that was really cool. And so that's something that I definitely wanted to highlight and talk about. So for the fight coordinator, it was Abe Young. He's the one that put together like the fighting choreography, which is what I do is I honor choreographers. So knowing that this is a different way of honoring choreographers, and knowing that, okay, dance is like, yes, there's dancing and there's choreography, but there's also choreography in other things, such as fighting, such as guns, such as boxing, such as any action movie. There is choreography, and there's something they had to bring in to choreograph these scenes for these movies. And I thought that was really, really cool. So to see that in this movie, and even other action movies too, I just thought that because of that, it's appropriate for me to even talk about this movie, because first it's like, it's not dancing, but I honor choreographers, so this is one of them. But anywho, but that's another reason why, and I thought it's really, really cool to have that, and to see how, of course, what was it, RJ, when he was like, not RJ, what, Jim Beckworth, when he's kept on moving his guns and doing different things with it and doing tricks. I thought that was really cool. But, oh yeah, and so the second scene that I'm going to talk about is pretty much going to be my last scene that I liked about this movie, was when Jim was trying to do a standoff with Cherokee Bill. Oh my gosh, like, that was hilarious, because he was like, wait a minute, you mean you gonna give yourself a drink? I've been rehearsing this all night. He was like, Bass was like, not right now, it'll be okay. But it was really, really cool. But I just really love that scene. But it's very funny, it's entertaining, and like I said, I really like the fact that they were able to highlight and put in forefront and talk about the Western, and talk about the two gangs and how they were rivals against each other, about territory, and of course about money. And I like how also this movie, it was action, you know, and even with this, there wasn't even a sex scene. So it's like, yay, because sometimes when it comes to action, especially sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, in African American movies, they have that, and this one they didn't. So it's like, thank you, Jesus, I can watch something amazing. Not saying that it happens all the time, so putting that out there. It was really cool to see that in this movie. But I just really, really, really loved this movie, and it was, I think, what was it, Jim Beckworth, I thought he really brought the comedy too, which was really cool. And Cuffy, I love Cuffy. Cuffy, when she was hilarious. But I remember seeing her for the Have and Have Nots. But, you know, to see all these stars come together, this all black cast, this was an amazing, phenomenal Western movie. I love it. Good job, James Samuel. I hope we can see more of this. I would love to see more of this, because this just brings a new introduction to the African American, aka black culture, which I think we do need to see more, because there's more about us that has happened that we don't really speak about or know about. And I think it's really great that they're bringing this to film, so that way we all can see. Another thing that I really, really loved about this movie also is the soundtrack is fire. If you have not gone back to iTunes or to shit, like whatever you use as far as music goes, is SoundCloud or whatnot, yo, the soundtrack is fire. Like, I believe that's what made this movie as well, was the soundtrack as well, especially on specific scenes. Like, it was really, really dope, and they got some amazing people to be a part of the soundtrack. And so yo, like, when I tell you I love the soundtrack, I'm telling you I love the soundtrack. Because when I first hear it, like, was watching it, and you know, and I saw the different scenes, I'm like, yo, what is that beat? Like, hold on. And every song matched perfectly with the soundtrack, like not with the soundtrack, but everything matched perfectly with the scenes. Like, it was well chosen for which scene which song should go in, and it was great. And some of the songs that actually is in the film is actually not on the soundtrack, which is okay, but it's still great. You can still look it up and find it. And there was like remixes, because I know there was like a couple of remixes and stuff, but it's okay. But it was really, really good, man. Everything about this movie was just straight up, like, from the storyline, from the characters, all the way up to, like, man, to, like, just so much. And like, I think it's just great that for a time like this that this came. Because at first I've been seeing, I'm like, yo, like, I keep seeing about this, The Harder They Fall, like, why do I keep seeing this? So it's like, let me go ahead and watch it. And yo, I'm so glad I did, because that's why I'm here today, to talk about it. But yeah, but I love everything about it, where it just says everything Black culture. We don't have to worry about, of course it's going to be like a whole thing of, you know, the whole white town and, you know, Black town and stuff like that. But even though it was mentioned and it was shown, it wasn't the main ingredient. It wasn't the main thing, which is great, because now this movie was able to focus on just Black culture, just Black African Americans, and not, oh, it's rivalry between whites being more supreme than Blacks. It had nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with slaves and being in chains. And I'm telling you, when I saw that scene, low key, when I saw that scene with Rufus Buck, when they was getting him from the train, I'm telling you, this is when I saw that guy and he took the chains off, low key, I don't know why, but why would that happen? If I was right there next to me, she was like, I cannot, but why would he took the chains off? Instantly, I got like the shackles on my feet so I could dance. Like, I don't know why when those chains fell, I instantly just thought about that song. Because it's like, you better release them shackles. Like, like, let's go. I don't know why, but I just really love that. That was hilarious. But I just thought I'd just put that out there because it was just funny. But anyway, that was another scene that I admire. But yeah, there's so many amazing, great scenes, and I'm not going to talk about all of it because I think you should go watch it yourself because it's that good. So yeah, but that's all that I have. So if you liked it, please hit this like button. It definitely helps my channel. If there is more things that you liked about this movie, I would love to hear your opinion of what you think. I'm literally obsessed with this movie. This movie is so great. Yeah, it kind of sucks with all this COVID. I wish this was out in theaters so they can really see the ratings of this really making a whole bunch. But I don't know how that works as far as streaming Netflix and stuff. I don't know how that works, but I hope and pray that there's awards and nominations and Emmys and Grammys that are given to this, because this movie was absolutely amazing. So hopefully there's a moment we can vote, because if so, I would vote and say yes, this deserves so many awards because this was absolutely great, and this was just what we need at a time like this. So definitely go back and watch it. If you have not seen my other dance reviews or my other videos, go ahead and check those out. Oh yeah, and I will put all of the choreographers at the end, even though I already named them, but I will still make my Hall of Fame. Anyway, I can't really say dancer because they all ain't dancers, but I will definitely make a Hall of Fame so that way you guys can see who was a part of this. But amazing job to everyone who was on set, everyone who was a part of the film. You guys all did an amazing job, and I'm super grateful that this was put out, and I'm really looking forward to even more. So I'll definitely see you guys in the next video, and do not forget not just to make good choices,